Time is money. The boss has always said that. And he's always known that wasting raw materials is throwing money out the window. Today, we realize that energy is money too, and wasting energy costs us more than it ever has before. Our times have changed. Now our habits must change. Once we took energy resources for granted, like they would last forever, but already the prices have been doubling and tripling because the supplies are running out. Today, aggressive energy management must be a key weapon in America's battle with the sweeping consequences of the energy crisis.
I thought you wanted a heavy Chevy, 500 horsepower.
Oh, come on. Ain't you heard of the energy crisis?
That was finished years ago.
Conspiracy by the big oil companies to take our money.
It's just one more ripoff.
I can tell you one thing. It's every bit the fault of the United States government.
Believe that our government will find a solution.
Frankly, friends, it's the fault of those money-grabbing Arabs. That's the real reason why we...
And the Swedish government has a national energy education program.
The whole situation revolves around prices.
Utility company shut off all the power to the old gentleman's home, so he froze to death.
And the gas company was cutting off 100 families a day.
It's first of all an educational crisis.
Does it mean we get out of school? We can't even afford a trip for a vacation.
Our whole plant was shut down for 2 weeks.
There won't be any more oil or gas when I grow up. Whee!
We used up all the trees, didn't we?
Damn thing only gets 11 miles per gallon.
54 miles per gallon?
Why, I only pay about $27 a month.
We spend a little over $27,000 every week.
Conserve energy?
Look, energy is never going to be that much of a problem in this country.
To really understand our energy situation today, look at the role of energy policy in our nation's development. America's unprecedented economic growth has demanded larger and larger amounts of energy. On a per capita basis, in 1900, each citizen used 17 barrels per year of oil equivalent energy. In 1950, 38 barrels per year. By 1970, it was up to 57 barrels per year. And by 1985, per capita consumption is projected at 75 to 85 barrels per year. The United States has only 6% of the world's population, but we consume 1/3 of all the energy used in the world. The price for our sources of energy dropped lower and lower from World War II until the early 1970s. This was partly because increased supplies of oil and natural gas became available through new exploration and advancing technology. It was also because we failed to pay the true full price for our energy. We didn't include payment for environmental abuses and for health costs. We control the price of natural gas at levels far below its free market value. And we imported oil from foreign sources without providing for prudent reserves. Our unrealistic national policies kept energy prices cheaper than their actual costs. Americans were buying energy on sale without even knowing it. Energy efficiency was forgotten. And as the bargain continued, we bought more and more of the cheap energy and more cars and freezers and air conditioners and all sorts of other gadgets that used this sale price energy. Before we knew it, devouring energy had become an extravagant national pastime. But several years ago, the picture changed, and the price of our energy-based prosperity began to rise dramatically. Our energy bargains suddenly disappeared. We started to recognize that what we pay for energy must cover such costs as preserving our environment and safeguarding the health of our people. Crude oil production in the United States had begun to level off, and the oil exporting countries who were providing a growing percentage of America's oil supply at lower than domestic cost drastically raised their prices. We were awakened to the cold reality that the energy supplies on our planet cannot last forever. In fact, we began realizing that some of our resources, like oil and natural gas, will be gone within our own lifetime. And what can we use for energy after that? The energy crisis had hit us, and we're still in its clutches today. Price increases since 1972 have made energy as expensive today as it was 25 years ago. The price we pay for it is still going up, and nobody predicts it will ever come back down again. This energy crisis challenge involves each and every one of us. It requires decisive action and our unfaltering commitment. Today, we've got to get the utmost use from every bit of energy we consume. We've got to change our national habits if we're going to save enough energy. We can't just turn down all the dials and be finished with it. That's a start, but it's a long-term job. For instance, converting to a whole new fleet of efficient cars will take us 10 to 15 years. And if we plan to overhaul our factories or have a country full of well-insulated homes, that'll take at least 30 years. And to develop adequate new sources of energy for the world may take half a century. And future energy supplies will still cost more. And all along the line, we're going to have to deal with technological and institutional problems, with complex forces in our economy, and with the challenge of altering our basic outlook on how we use energy in our lives.
The utility bills for this hotel have been outrageous, and now we hear that energy prices are going to double in the next 4 years. Because we weren't on our guard, wasted energy was stealing a good percentage of our profits every month, and until recently, we'd never even realized it, while the bills we've been paying for heating and air conditioning alone would pay yourself off 10 years.
How can Americans in homes, businesses, and industry eliminate excess costs we're now paying for energy? Poorly managed energy resources can cause problems, the same problems the boss has always had. But once the boss demands positive action, then the company will start to discover the solutions to the problems. The Environment Center at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, a team of energy specialists has developed a course which teaches a systematic approach to successful energy management. The class gives students the chance to apply this energy management approach to area businesses and industry, where wasted energy can be converted into profits.
If our problem is wasted energy, let's find out where that energy is going. Investigate.
But this problem looks so complicated, I just don't think this country can handle it all.
That's going to take a pretty tremendous plan.
Sounds like an awful lot of work.
It may seem insurmountable at first, but America can successfully meet this energy challenge.
But what can we do about it?
This class is going to field test a systematic approach to energy management that anyone can apply. The professors on our teaching team will help you custom tailor your project to each selected industry, and they'll help you conduct a thorough step-by-step analysis.
That sounds more encouraging, but where do we fit into it?
We're going to form several small task forces to develop an energy management program for each company we work with this term. Before you do anything else, it is essential that you get the commitment of the company's top management. Management must be your advocate and ally, backing the program all the way.
It's obvious high fuel consumption has become a burden to our budget. We're going to initiate this program with you because we want to do something about it. We're determined to make the changes it will take to come up with energy savings for this company in the long run.
We appreciate the commitment for us to work together on this project.
We plan to develop an energy management program in 4 major steps. First, we'll conduct an accurate energy audit. Secondly, compile and evaluate energy conservation opportunities. Thirdly, we'll proceed with an action implementation plan. And finally, maintain an evaluation and follow-up of program results.
Step 1, conduct an accurate energy audit.
We're all using enormous amounts of energy, but exactly where is it going? Most of us don't really know. All we've got is one great big end-of-the-month utility bill. So where can we eliminate unnecessary energy expenses? We have to do an energy audit to find out how much of this energy is going to which devices. We could put something like this kilowatt-hour meter on every device to actually measure the energy it consumes in a month. But that's not really practical. Instead, we figure out a close approximation using an energy audit data form. We record the location, the nameplate data, and use information for each device in the company, home, or business that we're auditing. And from these data, we can project the energy consumed in a month. Here in my office, for example, I'd be sure to catch this air conditioner. I'd have to get in here and get the horsepower rating and other nameplate data off this motor. You have to wade in and really get your hands dirty. There are 2 important parts to an energy audit. One is the on-site audit, where you actually go to the location and inspect the company's energy-using equipment. You may discover broken equipment or poorly adjusted controls. You'll find out what energy-using devices the company has and how they're actually being used. The second part is the billing audit, where you examine the energy bills from the company record files. When you monitor the month-by-month energy use, you'll see exactly where the energy dollars are going, and you may discover some unusual patterns which could signal energy waste.
What really appeals to me is that this is sort of creative detective work.
If you can locate the right person, he'll know just what you're looking for.
This is the fan I was telling you about that runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and really is totally ineffective.
Running a small fan might cost only $2 a year, but a 10-horsepower fan would cost $200 a year. You could save $140 by turning it off on nights and weekends. You concentrate on the big energy consumers where savings will be most significant.
4,400 watts, and they use this kiln 3 times a week.
We know the location, setting, and reading of each thermostat throughout the building.
We even checked our hot water heater back at home. We turned it down 30 degrees, and it's still plenty hot for us.
Once you really look into things in detail, it's surprising what you begin to find out. You've got to get hard data, numbers and calculations to show the company boss. You've got to project savings in dollars and specific quantities to convince management to make changes that will save energy and save money.
Until our energy audit, we were totally unaware of the waste that occurred here each day, and we accepted it as a way of life.
Most companies can cut 20% off their energy bills just by paying attention and using their heads.
We're going to spend $3,000 to insulate all our steam pipes. We estimate that it will save us $11,000 next year and $13,000 the year after that.
The meat packers we visited saved $600 the first year just by insulating their lard cookers.
A light that's always on burns 168 hours a week. If you only turn it on 40 hours a week, you will save 76%.
Recycling the waste heat from our scalding tanks is saving us over $4,000 a year.
We're installing a smokestack heat recuperator that'll save at least 25% on the gas bill. That's $30,000 a month for us.
When we analyze this energy audit data, we'll get a record of the monthly energy use for each device in the entire company. Then we make a summary by category to show clearly what portions of our energy expenses come from lighting, heating and air conditioning, from food services, transportation, and so on. This first step in an energy management program shows precisely where the company stands now. And a concise summary is so useful that some industries prepare charts to portray the flow of energy through their entire operation. So, to conduct an energy audit, first, find and record all energy-using devices. Second, project the monthly energy use. And third, categorize your results. And all through that energy audit process, we'll have been making notes of clogged filters, steam leaks, uninsulated pipes, excess lighting, broken regulators, anything else you can think of.
Step 2, compile and evaluate energy conservation opportunities.
Your next job is to compile a list of suggestions of possible ECOs for the company. An ECO is an opportunity to conserve energy by any method, anywhere in the company's operation. An energy conservation opportunity.
We started our list with these examples of wasted energy we discovered during our energy audit. Then our team held a brainstorming session.
We need to check the boilers for efficient combustion.
Leave the lights off in the vending machines.
And they should double that insulation over the warehouse ceiling.
You know, we could use the surplus heat to preheat the process streams.
How about we switch to fluorescent lights in the lobby?
They could cut the parking lot lights at 11:30.
We could turn the heat off from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. and on the weekends.
Let's lower the heating thermostats to 65 degrees.
We could drop the air compressor pressure down to 95 pounds per square inch.
Let's get rid of all the company cars.
We can cut the hot water temperature down to 120 degrees.
We wrote down every suggestion we thought of that could possibly conserve energy. Many good ideas occurred to us from looking over our energy audit data and energy usage pies. They indicated the likely places to concentrate our attention. One excellent source for ECO reference lists is the Energy Conservation Program Guide for Industry and Commerce, abbreviated EPIC, or EPIC. This also contains important technical charts and tables for evaluating ECOs. EPIC is available from your Department of Commerce office or the U.S. Department of Energy. Your team should be able to come up with a list of several dozen suggestions, which will then have to be whittled down.
Several important considerations will help clarify the value of suggested ECOs. First is the question of money. How much money will be required to implement this ECO? Is it no cost, low cost, or high cost? Second consideration is the time frame required. Can the ECO be implemented immediately? Is it short range or long range? And finally, what possible impact will the ECO have on the rest of the system? Will it cause health hazards, safety hazards, or possibly customer dissatisfaction?
And of course you've got to ask, what's the potential savings with each ECO? And what's the cost to benefit ratio? Is it a sound investment? We designate our ECOs as requiring one of three types of action. First,
this ECO requires procedural action only and needs no capital investment. Second, this ECO requires a modification of our present plant and procedures, which does demand capital investment. And third, this ECO requires further research and development, or strategic modifications in the nature and location of the entire firm. An energy-conscious manager will monitor the external environment and look ahead to develop long-term strategic plans.
He must ask, how can I best utilize available resources to achieve my company's goals and face the competition over the long run?
So each ECO must be evaluated for its potential energy savings per year per dollar invested. Then rank how worthwhile each is and decide which ones to implement.
Step 3, proceed with an action implementation plan. Clearly set your program's goals. To cut energy costs and to keep them cut. To generate an energy conservation ethic among both management and employees. To incorporate efficient energy use in all future action.
Take action to implement ECOs. Enact all short-term ECOs that can be put into practice with little or no cost. For ECOs that do require capital outlay, rank them by projected return on investment and implement those projects ranking above your cutoff requirements. Or using another criterion, the present value of future savings must equal your cash outlay. Some investments will be repaid through energy savings in just a few months, others within a few years. And remember, the opportunity for the greatest savings comes through efficient energy designing when a new housing or industrial project is still in the planning and construction stages.
Take action to mobilize your employees. Establish an energy conservation committee with representatives from each department charged with the responsibility to coordinate the activities of your energy management program. To your supervisors, cite the pressing economic need to conserve energy and their responsibility to reinforce the efforts of the program underway. It's got to be a team effort. An employee awareness campaign can include Save Energy posters, decals, stickers, promotional material on company bulletin boards with backup literature available, an energy conservation training course, exhibits, awards and incentives, publicity in the plant news bulletin and public news media, and films just like this one. Every employee can contribute to the success of an energy management program.
Take action to develop energy contingency plans. We have to assess the future availability of the energy supplies we use and future prices for each fuel. And we're going to project our company's energy uses over the next 3 to 5 years. How much can investments for energy efficiency reduce our vulnerability to severe energy shortages? What alternative energy supplies are available? And what company operations hold priority in the case of a future energy curtailment? Once you know the company's limits, you can develop a series of contingency plans to help cut the energy use, but still permit production in a future emergency.
Step 4, maintain an evaluation and follow-up of program results.
An energy management program is a continuous process, not just a one-time effort. So we'll evaluate our progress each month. We've got to measure results to see if our plans of action have been effective. And we've got to keep records of each conservation step, its projected savings and its actual savings, to see whether our goals for saving energy are being met. As we watch the record of energy consumption, we should see some significant improvements in the months and years after we have begun an energy management program.
We want to establish a permanent communications network for ideas, information, and decisions concerning energy management. The focal point for this network should be your company's Energy Conservation Committee, and we'll conduct a survey of employee attitudes to see if an energy conservation ethic is actually being generated.
Finally, follow up the whole scheme with a review and update of the decisions you made at each step in the energy management program. We should watch for new ECOs, extend original goals, and keep close tabs on new energy developments, because if we don't,
For the United States to survive the relentless challenges of an energy-short economy, aggressive energy management is absolutely essential. Otherwise, we will throw away our economic well-being and our national security.
The fact is, we're only in the initial phase of this energy crisis. It's going to affect the life of every single American for the rest of this century at the least.
In the last 30 years of this century, the United States will consume more energy than we have in our entire history.
Our use doth breed a habit in a man.
Well, you know, if America's using 1/3 of the world's energy, think about who's going to be hurt the worst when it runs out.
Face it, most of the time America just has to learn the hard way.
People come from all over the world to watch us waste energy. Wasting energy means more pollution, it means less jobs, it means more inefficiency. Every year, engineers are discovering new ways to make buildings, automobiles, consumer products, and industrial processes more energy efficient. They're also discovering new ways by which this country wastes energy and are concluding that the country wastes way over 50% of its energy.
Union Carbide initiated an ambitious energy conservation program in 1972. We are currently completing about 1,900 projects, and the cost savings from these alone will be $40 million each year. We're, of course, also stressing energy savings in our new designs and in our purchases of all major process equipment.
The American Hotel Motel Association has initiated a 5-year industry-wide energy conservation program. We spent $200,000 on the program last year. Our goal is to see a 20% reduction in energy use in the lodging industry. That saves the equivalent of 11 million barrels of oil per year nationwide.
Like most of the chemical industry, Rohm and Haas has tried to save energy all along, since day one. After the embargo, we formalized our program. We made a detailed energy audit. We found about 30 ECOs, and we've implemented most of those. We're still seeking new ECOs. We constantly monitor the whole program, and we're trying to change any wasteful habits of our employees. It's really economics, just good business management.
I think the energy management class gave us some real good experience. Our group audited a bank, and we made this energy use chart of their electrical expenses.
The students rated the class as being very worthwhile. And the bit that they really liked was the hands-on experience of the energy audits.
We applied many excellent suggestions and examples from the Energy Conservation Program Guide to the work on our class projects. And there's a growing volume of special reports and materials available to help you get started. The energy challenge is beatable.
Our times demand aggressive energy management nationwide, and your participation is vital. Start an energy management program today in your community, office, business, your industry.
Save energy, energy. We must all save energy, or we won't have energy for long at all. Energy, energy. We must all save energy, or we won't have energy at all. We must save energy. We must save energy.